Hi, my dear student friends and professors. I am Dr. N Pughazendi, professor from CSE Department, Panimal Engineering College. In this session, we'll be having a brief look about the introduction to DBMS and the file versus DBMS for the beginners for the DBMS. So, before going to the DBMS, I will be giving an introduction to what is a DBMS. So, what is DBMS? Before that, we will start with what is data, and then what is information, what is a file, what is a record, and then record set, database, and then database management system. What is the data? Data is going to be a raw fact. Data is a very asset for the company. So, based on this asset, the managers will be taking a very good decision, but the data must be processed before that. With the data, nothing is going to be useful. That's we call as information. Information is going to be actually the processed data which is useful for the managers to take a decision. And then we have the files. What is a file? File is going to be a collection of records. A record is going to be a collection of fields, and then record sets. Record set is a collection of records. And then once again, it's what is a database? A database is a collection of tables which has rows and columns. So it may be a data of different. It may be a student. It may be a result. It may be an employee. It may be a salary. It may be a bank. It may be account. It may be patient information. So like this, we have different type of database which has a table which has a rows and column. And then database management system, a very simple definition for the database management system is a database plus a set of programs. So that's a database management system, very simple definition, a database plus a set of programs. So now we have a file processing system. Why did you move to the database management system? So that's a very important task. So it may be a file versus DBMS, we can take the topic. So what is the disadvantage of the file and why we move to the database management system? So at the beginning, if you want to represent, want to go for a automation of a bank, so we use application program like C, C++. So these languages we use to develop a bank application. So using this, we have the application program is going to be in this language, the C, C++, and the database is going to be represented in the form of a file. So we know it's going to be simply we take a C file which may be represented in a .dat or .txt like that. So here we face lot of disadvantages. So the main important feature of the database management system is going to be the data independency. So data independency. So if you change the application program, nothing is going to be affected for the database. If you change the database, nothing is going to affect for the application program. But here in this file processing system, we are going to face lot of difficulties. What are the difficulties we are going to face? We will see one by one. So first one is going to be data redundancy. What is data redundancy? So data redundancy is going to be actually your data is going to be repeated more than one time. That's going to be actual data redundancy. For example, we can see you are having a student information system or a student result table which is represented as a file processing system. So you see you are going to see a result. What will happen in this if you see a result? So you can see your result will be displayed 3 or 4 times. So for example, you see first time the record is consisting of 6.3, second time is 6.4, third time 8.9, and fourth time it's 9.9. So which result I have to display? So 4 it's an option because we don't use a primary key. We don't use the concept of use redundancy because it's a file processing system. So your data is repeated for 4 times. So 9.9 is more. So I can display the data for you. So that's going to be disadvantage of the file processing system. That's going to be overcome in the database management system by using the concept of primary key. Your record can be kept there only once. Any student is having 2 register number. If you are having 2 register number means it will be quite good. You are using a file processing system, but you are not. You are using a database management system though. So only you are having only 1 register number. And then any student is there, you can see your result by using your name. What is your register number? Your register number is null. Any student is there. What is the register number, sir? My register number is null. Any student is there? No, nobody is there. You will have every student will have a register number. That's a must. We call that as a primary key. So coming here, that's going to data redundancy. So that is not there in the database management system. And then data inconsistency. So you are going to see a result. So I had already told in a file processing system, your data is repeated for record is repeated for 4 times, which I have to display. Whether I have to display 6.6 CGPA or 6.7 or 8.6 or I want to display 9.9 to you. So the file processing get a confusion. So it displays something. So for example, you see you are having a savings account. So there your record is there kept for 2 or 3 times. in which account I have to change your balance. That's the actual question mark there. So data inconsistency is the disadvantage of the file processing system. But in database management system, each and every student has only one register number. Each and every bank, if you have account, we have only one account number. And then difficulty in accessing the data. So if you see today anonymous result is coming, for example, you will assume like that. So you are entering a register number. At a time, you know, lakhs and lakhs of students will be seeing the result in the anonymous website. So it is telling the server is busy sometimes, or it will be getting slow due to internet connection or due to the server is going to be accessed by many students. But if you give a register number, anybody get your result wrongly, that is your result is not displayed, some other student has displayed, like that you are getting in difficulty. That is difficulty in accessing the data. For example, you can take I think it's Arjun movie. So you can see that actual student will get suicide because he thought had failed in the 10th examination. But tomorrow morning, if you see the newspaper, she will get the state first, okay, because at the time they will be using a file processing system. So, but you see, if you are getting a very good result, but due to the file processing system, you are getting 6.9. But you are a very good student. You are getting 9.9, 9.8 like that. So what it will do means, if you use your file processing system, something will happen to you. So difficulty in accessing the data is not there in the database management system. You have 1,000 and 1,000 lakhs and lakhs of records. Account is going. The account is also there. If you have a bank account, so there also 1,000 and thousands of customers there, but you don't have any difficulty in accessing the data. Multiple user accessing the database. So that is also the same thing. So what we discussed, difficult in accessing the data. But here, if you many number of users is going to access the data, but we don't get any problem. Your result is shown to you, so other results are not shown to you. Okay, that's going to actually difficulty in accessing. That is the multiple user accessing the database. Any number of users is going to access the database simultaneously. Nothing happens to the database. The database should be kept consistently. That is important there. And then it's going to be data isolation. So in the file processing system, we use it may be the file formats may be in different formats. The application program changes. So the application program may be changed. The user may ask from I want to move from C to C++, or I want to move from C++ to Java. So it may be at the beginning it may be in .dat, and then it will come to .txt, and then the next extension. So here the file format changes. It's not in a fixed file format. The application program changes. The file format also changes, which is a drawback of the file processing system. And then very important application is going to be the disadvantage of the file processing is security problem. Anybody can open the database and you can access the data. So what will happen here? So imagine your anonymous result is displayed to you today. So I am telling. So if you open your anonymous result from 9 to 10 exactly, night 9 to 10, your result will be in the editable format. I am telling. So all the students, what will you do? So you will wait for 9 to 10, it will be in the editable field, means you can type your actual grade. So you will be waiting for that 9 to 10, everybody will be opening that and you will be editing and you will be entering your result as yes, but that is not possible because you are given rights to you, but you can only view, you have only in the read mode. So we have two types of locks here, we have S lock and X lock. So only the student is having a permission of S lock, he can just read. Similarly, if you have an account in the bank, what happened here in the account in the bank? So your actual the field, that balance field is in the editable mode. What will you do? Everybody will add that much number of zeros after the 1. So that's going to be, but it's not the editable mode. It's going to be only in the readable mode. Okay. So because each and every, so the manager has some rights, the cashier has some rights, the user has some rights. So each and every stage we have some rights. And then integrity problems. So in the integrity problem we can tell, so in file processing system this is not there, but in DBMS is there. For example, you can see you are going to the, you are having an account, it may be in the state bank, we may assume it, we are having an account in the state bank. So the minimum balance is 500 rupees. So if your balance is going below the 500 rupees, so average in every time or 3 months once or 4 months once, some 50 rupees will be deducted from your account because you are not maintaining the balance 500 rupees. So who is detecting that balance? Daily, night 12 o'clock, the bank manager will sit and execute the program. So you will see who are the accounts that is less than 500. No. automatically that is executed. How automatically that is executed? That is called as actually integrity. So integrity is automatically something is going to happen for the database. So a program is going to be executed, that's called as actually a integrity problem. Then coming to the multiple user, okay, so you have, I didn't tell the example, once again I am coming for this. So this example, multiple user accessing the database. So you and your friend are having a joint account. So he is going to the bank with a check, and you are going to the ATM card to take the amount from the ATM machine. Both are simultaneously executing. So for example, you will take by 10 o'clock, morning 10 o'clock, he is going to the bank and is giving the check. So you are going to the ATM by 10 o'clock and giving the entering the ATM card. Both the processing are going to the server at the same time. For example, that's the example only. Okay. So what happens? You are having 10,000 rupees in your account. Your friend is taking 5,000 rupees, and you are taking from the ATM, you are taking 1,000 rupees. How much should be the balance? Both are going to the server at the same time. So the balance is normally what should be the balance? From 10,000 rupees, your friend is taking 5,000 rupees and you are taking 1,000 rupees. So it's 6,000 rupees is going to go from the account, and how much should be the balance? The balance is 4,000 rupees. Suppose, imagine, if you are using file processing system, how much will be the balance? The balance may be 9,000 rupees or it may be 5,000 rupees. Imagine both are taken the money. You are taken 6,000 rupees totally from your account. Imagine in your account 9,000 rupees is there. What will do? Suddenly I will start an account in that bank. Why? Because if you take 6,000 rupees from 10,000 rupees, only 4,000 rupees to be there, but 9,000 rupees is there. Everybody will start an account in that bank. That is the disadvantage why we are using the file processing system in the multiple user. So what are the main drawbacks of the file processing system? Just I will summarize. So the file processing system versus DBMS. So we have the data redundancy, and then we have the data inconsistency. We have the difficulty in accessing the data. We have the data isolation, and then we have the multiple user accessing the database. We have the security problem and the integrity problem. Thank you, my dear friends. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.